This is Jeannie and Carrie from Trendy Tree, and today we're going to make an Easter wreath. We're going to start out with these wood veneer bunny heads from Burton & Burton. They look like wood, but they're made out of like a paper mache or something that sort of looks like wood, but they're very lightweight. One's pink, one's blue, and we're going to do the wreath and show what each head would look like on it, whether you want to go with the pink or the blue. All the supplies came from Trendy Tree, and we'll have these supplies in a kit. Now, we'll have a limited number of kits, and even after the kits sell out, we'll leave the video up for instructions because you can apply the same technique using other supplies because you may not see this video till 6 months down the road.
Correct.
We're going to use a cream pencil wreath, and we've got like 4 ribbons picked out. This is a frayed edge mesh. It's frayed on each end. It's 21 inch, and it's made out of a combination of poly, which is plastic, and jute, which gives it a nice texture. Now, what we're going to do to get started today is I'm going to use an old wreath that we've used before and save that good wreath.
Okay.
We like to take things apart and use them again. We're going to use an old burlap wreath that we've used probably several times, so that's why it looks kind of like this. But anyway, we take things apart and reuse them and make something else. So the first thing we're going to do to get started, that's my hanger.
No, it's not. That's your hanger.
I'm sorry. Okay. You can make a hanger. We did this just using zip ties.
And we're out. So
We're out of zip ties, so that hanger will be precious. So we're going to start, we're going to do the poof technique, and we're going to start, and to do that, you just gather your mesh about 3 or 4 inches from the end, and select a twist, whether you want to start on the inside of the wreath or the outside, it doesn't matter. And I did want to say that this is a 24-inch wreath. It measures 15 inches from wire to wire across the back, but once you put your materials on there, you wind up with a wreath that's like 24 inches or greater. That's better. Be taller. So she's just going to start that on one end and just secure it with a twist a couple of times, and then we're going to make our poofs. We're going to measure and do 14 inches. Now we're using my measuring stick. We made that measuring stick out of a paint stick. So anyway, but measure 14 inches down your mesh and just grasp it together, and then attach it in the next twist. Now when you're closing the twist right now, you only have to give it a couple of twists because we're going to add in some ribbons later. And we're going to work all the way around the outside ring of that wreath, making 14-inch poofs. Now when you get to your last poof on the outer ring, you get your 14-inch measurement. And then you're going to open up that twist where you started. Make sure that your starting mesh doesn't pop out. But open up that twist, and then just lay your last poof in and re-secure it. Now you're ready to start making your poofs on the inner ring. So you want to come up to the closest twist, which I guess would be that one, and just, what did I say?
That.
Secure it with a couple of twists, and then start measuring and just go around the inner ring, making the same 14-inch poofs. And when you get to your last poof, you want to go ahead and make that last poof, and then we'll cut off our mesh. So make that last poof, and we'll open up that twist and attach it just like we did on the outer ring. Then we'll be ready to cut our mesh off. Okay, now we had a couple of yards left, but we'll cut that mesh off from the roll, leaving a tail about 6 inches or so. And then you can just tuck that tail to the inside. Just flip your wreath over, and you should be right also the beginning of your beginning tail and your ending tail, and you could just take those and just sort of wrap them around the wire frame, and we're out of large zip ties, but what I would do is just secure a zip tie around that to keep that tail from popping out. So that's your basic poof technique. And you could just always, you know, kind of fluff it out. If you have a poof that's too small or too large, you can do a little adjusting. So now we're ready to add some ribbons. We cut our ribbon strips into 13-inch lengths. Now, it's always good to measure, do a test strip before you start cutting up all your ribbon, and make sure that the tips of the ribbon stick out as far as you want them to. And of course, you can put your ribbon on lots of different ways. One of the easiest ways, especially if you're new to wreath making, is just take a ribbon strip, pinch it in the center, and you can layer your ribbon, you know, as many different ribbons as you want. I think we're just going to do 4 ribbons to a group, pinch them all together, and secure the 4 different ribbons into each twist all the way around the wreath. Now, we do want to finish off the ends of the ribbons before you put them on, and you can do that different ways. You can just make a right angle cut, but if you want to do like a fish mouth or chevron cut, you just take your ribbon, fold it in half, and then fold it again lengthwise. Take your scissors and cut along the folded edge, and then you'll have like a chevron cut or fish mouth cut on your ribbons. You have some ribbon left over, and like I say, you can do your ribbon lots of different ways. You may just want to make bows out of your ribbons or loops, but you do have ribbon left over. Putting the ribbon on in this method. The remote. But to do the ribbon cluster, you just pick up your ribbon however you want to layer it. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to try to put each ribbon in the exact same pattern. I'm just going to pick up 4 ribbons and put them together. Kind of spread them out a little bit, make a ribbon cluster. But the most important thing is that you open up a twist. Doesn't matter if you start on the inside or outside, but open up your twist, make sure your mesh stays in place. Lay your ribbon cluster down, and this time you can secure that twist back with 3 or 4 turns, since that's the last thing that we're going to put in these twists. And you can just kind of spread your ribbon out. You'll have to refluff it after you're completely done, but just kind of spread your ribbons out like that. And we're going to work all the way around the wreath, and we're going to put a cluster of ribbons in each twist. I like the ribbon textures. These are all like a faux canvas and well, this is a burlap. But the stiffer, of course, they're all wire edge ribbons, and you do want to use wire edge. Or we always do, I don't know. And this way, this has some pink and blue, so either bunny heads would look good with this. So to be sure that you put your ribbons face up. And this is just an easy way to do your ribbons, because this way they'll come out fairly uniform. Fairly, not always. Typically there's 18 twists on a 24-inch wreath. Of course, you might get one sometime that's got 17, or you might get one that's got 19. I did cut some of that pink ribbon longer than 13 apparently. But that's what it looks like with your twist, with your ribbon cluster in each twist. Now the next thing we're going to do is add the bunny head. It has a jute string on it, and we'll probably, what do you think? We'll probably just kind of put him in the center, and we make it just tie him to the work wreath frame using the jute string. We just kind of push your ribbons out of the way and kind of work that string where you can reach your hands to the back side. Will that be about right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just fine.
You can always push your poofs and your ribbons out from the back side too. So there's our bunny head. We just used the jute string that comes on hold that if you would, the jute string that comes on the bunny head and tied it. I pulled it up snug and tied it to the work wreath frame. Now, if you can kind of take the head and kind of poke him, into the center, but now, if he pops out like that, of course, we'll probably hang this. This is made of a paper type product, so you certainly don't want to put it on a door that would get moisture or anything like that. So, but if you need to secure him into the center more, you could run a little jute string like right under the edge of the hat and secure that to the work wreath frame. Just be sure anything that you add to your wreath, you want to secure it to the work wreath frame. We got a measuring, let's see about how big he is.
I'm gonna hang him up.
Just hold him there. So he measures about 26 inches, that's both ways. And the ears are wired, so you can like stand them up or bend them down a little bit if you wanted to. So it's about 26 inches in width, okay? All the products came from Trendy Tree, of course, and like I say, even after these kits are sold out, we'll leave the instructions up because you can do this poof technique and ribbons and, just pick out whatever kind of mesh you want, whatever kind of ribbons you want, and other signs. And we'll take a picture of him. We'll put the pink head on, and on the kit, you'll be able to pick whether you want a pink hat or a blue hat. But that's our Easter wreath. Be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's a little icon at the bottom of your screen. And follow us. We're fixing to start doing Facebook Live. We hope to go live next week.
Oh, can't wait.
So follow us on Facebook, and we have thousands of pins on Pinterest. That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks for dropping in. Bye-bye.